My first guest has built a career out of invading the homes of the rich and famous. He has a brand new television program on. It's called Preview. It's the best of the new. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robin Leach. How you doing?
I love this robotic arm.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Frightening device.
I have several in my home. Say you're looking very casual.
It's late on a Friday night.
Yeah, there you go. Now tell me about the big show. How long has this thing been on, The Rich and the Famous?
8 years, starting next weekend.
That's amazing that it's been that long, isn't it?
I think it's going to go into the record books like Chester from Gunsmoke, sort of limping along 20 years later.
No, but it doesn't limp along. It's
bigger and better every year.
There you go, yeah. And now, how do you get to decide who goes on the show?
Well, we sort of, you know, do a little bit of research and check out the bank accounts and what people own.
No, you don't do that, really, do you?
Yeah, we do that.
Is there a cutoff? Now, is it two different ways of judging people? They have to be rich or famous, or rich or famous?
Correct.
I see.
They could be both if they wanted to be, but...
So they could be famous and indigent, and they'd get on?
Absolutely. I've seen some people on the streets of New York in the last week.
Now, let's not get into that. So, what is, for the rich category, what's the cutoff there?
Just a mere $50 million.
Really?
Yes.
They have to be worth $50 million? They have to get their hands on $50 million?
$50 million, preferably in cash, but we'll take it in a few odd buildings or stocks and bonds.
And what confirmation do you get of that?
Well, we do. We have our ways, as they say.
Do you really? Do you actually get a financial statement from these people?
Yeah, we check to make certain that it's all right.
It would seem to me that rich people who are not famous wouldn't want to be on your show anyway.
But they all do.
Do they really?
Yes.
Rich people want to be on?
Some of them even call us on the phone and beg.
Is that right?
Yes.
Isn't that, I would think that if you're worth that kind of money, you wouldn't want everybody to know about it.
They're happy. You know, we've turned down people who've
like,
pleaded
who have you turned down?
Well, we actually were invited by the Marcoses in the Philippines and the Duvaliers in Haiti a long time ago, and I don't like those people and the way that they made their money, so they got a big no telegram, but thank you very much.
Yeah, all right.
In other words, we would have shown you the shoes in the closet a long time before anybody else.
So those people didn't get on. Yeah,
that's right.
Now, people. Has anybody ever lied, misrepresented themselves?
We caught somebody out in the middle of an interview. We were interviewing a jeans manufacturer in San Francisco, and I had this.
He had invited you guys to come out, or you found him?
We'd found him, and then he'd very much encouraged our attendance at his home, which was an incredible house in San Francisco.
Right.
But something wasn't quite right. Everything looked a little too new, a little too pristine. And I had this uncomfortable feeling. Call it a sixth sense or seventh sense, whatever.
Well, which one should we call it? Sixth or seventh?
This time of the night, it's rough. And I asked the field producer to go into the garage where we were going to get the shot of the garage doors opening, and we were going to get the lineup
fleet of autos.
A fleet, you know, the stretch limousine and the Bentley, the Rolls, the Ferrari. And I said, just out of coincidence, look in the glove compartment. And would you know it? They were all from Budget Rent-A-Car.
Is that a true story?
That's absolutely a true story.
So that means he's so wealthy he just rents cars like that?
Well, he was... You know, you could have almost done it in my voice. He is so wealthy, he can afford to rent cars from anywhere he chooses.
So now, did you ask him about the rented cars?
No, at that point, we said, you know, what is this with the rented cars? And that was when we discovered he was on the verge of filing for Chapter 11.
Oh, is that right?
And was hoping that a quick appearance on The Rich and Famous would restore him to his former heights of glory.
Yeah, give investors some confidence in the guy.
There you go.
You know, that's interesting. Have you ever thought about this, just taking a guy that nobody knows and pretending like he's wealthy? You know, just put him right in, like, #2 on the list?
No, that's on your next top 10 list.
No, that would be fun. Just get a guy and put him up at a little ranch house in Reno or something, and then just go to work, you know, do it up and pretend like he's worth $80 billion.
You could pull that off. I couldn't.
No, you could do that. No, sure, of course.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, we'll try it sometime.
Yeah, squeeze another season out of this show. Do that.
We're not short of anybody.
Are we doing a commercial, and then we'll come back with Rob? Okay, we'll do a commercial. We'll be right back here with Robin. Robin Leach. Now, do you ever go into one of these places? Because a television production crew, I'm guessing you take at least one camera, maybe two cameras.
One camera.
One camera, a lot of cable, a lot of lights, a lot of people. Do you ever break anything? Do you ever knock anything over? You do any damage of any kind?
We had a minor disaster when we were with Robert Stack. We caused a waterfall and part of an indoor garden to fall down.
A waterfall in an indoor garden.
It was a little messy. It was a little messy.
An indoor rainforest.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, it was an indoor mud pile after we'd finished with it.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that happened was in somebody's house where we were accused of destroying a very valuable $180,000 Ming vase because of a clumsy.
Whose house was
crew.
this?
There was a lady who's been in the headlines for altercations with the Beverly Hills Police Force.
Oh, this is this Zsa Zsa Gabor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
that's interesting. You won't go to the Philippines to visit Imelda Marcos, but you have no problem going to see Zsa Zsa Gabor.
I knew that would appeal to you, David. And we didn't actually knock over the vase. We didn't even see a vase.
Yeah.
In fact, there really was no vase.
Is that right? So
yes.
Somebody with her, a member of her staff, said you broke something that didn't really exist
and
at
so
all?
I got a phone call in my office from one of the staff at the house that said that we had better come up with a check for $180,000 to replace the non-existent Ming vase.
Would a Ming vase, sorry, would it really run $180,000, do you think?
That would be a very cheap Ming vase, in my opinion. And they were going to hold the camera equipment hostage until the money was replaced.
Oh, man.
And so I said, well, you can keep the camera equipment because it's not even worth $7,500.
Sure,
So they said, well, send up a check for $7,500 for the vase.
Yeah.
So in 2 minutes, it gone from 180 to 7,500. And anyway, we finally settled at $750. And so...
A Ming vase was destroyed and the value, you know, under $1,000. Let's call it $750.
So we sent the check up and we got the camera equipment back and everything, and I promptly stopped payment on the check.
Oh, man, good for you. Nice job. Now, did you talk to her subsequently to this? Did you ask her about it? Did you think she knew anything about this?
We haven't. Oh, she knew.
Really?
But we haven't run into each other.
So she was just trying to dig somebody for some dough, huh?
I would, you know.
Yeah.
The sooner it comes out of his mouth than mine.
Hard to believe she would pull a stunt like that. She's a grand lady, you know. Now let's talk about the new show. You have like 2 shows on now.
Yeah, we have the 8th season of Lifestyle starting this weekend, and then
you have this thing, The Getaway.
5th season of Runaway starting this weekend, and then starting Monday across the country we have a new 6-day-a-week show called Preview the Best of the
6 days a week?
Yeah. So we're going to be busy.
Yeah.
Very, very busy, but we're going to enjoy it. It's the first look at the future, all put together in one place.
And what kind of stuff?
Life's coming attractions. It's everything that's new in the worlds of movies, music, fashion, living, vacations, hotels. Everything that is new, all put together in a half-hour show once a week.
You think this will be a good show?
Well, we just finished run-through number 2 today, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
Well, how are you going to do this if you're doing the 2 other shows, and one requires you traveling a great deal, the other traveling some?
Thank heavens for Federal Express, fax machines, and portable phones.
Man, you're nuts. You shouldn't be working that hard.
I know, but
Try and relax
somebody
a little
got to
bit.
pay the bills.
The new program is Preview.
The best of the new.
All right, good. I hope it's another big success
Thank you
for you.
very
Nice
much,
to have you here, Robin. Robin Leach, kids. We'll be right back. We're going to do a commercial. Where's that taken?
Dave, step right this way. We have your table waiting for you.
Thank you very much.
We
Nice
have
to
a
see you,
nice
Paul.
table for you in the
How
car.
you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I was reminded with that shoe thing of the time I was in a restaurant on the Upper West Side and I saw Robin Leach with a date drinking champagne out of her shoe.
Yeah.
Talk about lifestyles.
What
you
a
know.
hip guy.
Yeah.
Very
But then I
hip
looked
guy.
under the table and she had both her shoes on.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, where did this other shoe come from? I don't know.
They travel with it for drinking purposes,
I can
would
just
guess.
imagine him calling her up, you know, Sandra, meet me at the restaurant, bring the shoe.
I like that. You do that pretty well, the voice there.
I got it down a little bit, yeah.
Every week on his highly successful television program, our first guest proves that it is possible for people to be too thin and too rich. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Robin Leach. Hey, Happy New Year. Welcome to the big program.
Happy New Year to you.
Hey, you got a lot of money, don't you?
So much money, I don't know what to do with it. But Ed McMahon nor Johnny Carson has come to me with that $1 million check.
Oh, that's right. He did pay me a visit with $1 million cash.
Felt good, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you cash it?
Happy New Year. Tell me about this book here. What's the deal on this? Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, World's Best Guide.
You know, every year as we travel around the world looking at the best hotels, the finest restaurants, the greatest beaches, we get asked the questions, and so we put them all into a book to answer that. Which is, what are, where is the 10 best of this in the world?
Right, and these are places that you've been personally, that you've stayed personally?
Absolutely.
These aren't those kind of kickback deals where if they put you up, then you'll put them in the book, is one of those things? Everything's on the up and up here.
Everything on the up and up.
Yeah. Well, now, what kind of a life did you have before this show? What did you do?
It was a nightmare.
Oh, no.
There was no champagne and caviar in my background.
Where did you come from?
Beer and pretzel. That's all it was.
Right.
I come from a little town about 20 miles outside of London, and it's where, in the town of Harrow, where Sir Winston Churchill went to the very exclusive private school at the top of the hill, and I went to the council school at the very bottom of the hill.
Yeah. And you, how did you get to the United States? You were a journalist in
I was a journalist for the Daily Mail in England, and I'd gone at the age of 21 as far as I could go until I was 29. So I flipped a coin, heads for America, tails for Australia. You know where I wound up.
Yeah.
And I came here only expecting to spend 12 months and then go back. But I fell in love with New York City, and I've stayed here ever since.
Now, you've turned this thing into an industry, haven't you?
It is a full cottage industry, and I have absolutely no shame whatsoever about it.
Yeah. But, you know, I would have thought, okay, there's not as many rich people in the world now as there once was.
Things are getting tough for them, too, but fortunately not for us.
So what kind of qualifications still hold true for Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
Well, we still have the $50 million cutoff figure. I mean, you know, we have to have rules, David, just like you do. No 50 mil, not on the show.
You have to be worth 50 million or you don't get on the show.
That's right. If you're a rich man.
Yeah.
You know.
How did you celebrate New Year's Eve?
I was where was I was on a tiny island just off the coast of Antigua in the Caribbean, drinking, you know, Jumbie Bay jamborees.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
You know, some alcoholic thing with an umbrella in the top of it.
And do you consume a lot of booze in the course of a day? Are you always loaded? I mean, because Paul is always talking about seeing you in a restaurant someplace drinking champagne out of somebody's shoe.
Absolutely true. Yes, well, that's because he wants to do the same thing.
Yeah, but do you do that night after night? That would kill you. You couldn't do that,
until
could
I
you?
started the diet on January the 1st.
Really?
And so far in the first 8 days, I have not indulged.
Tell me about the diet. What is your goal? What do you want to lose, and how are you doing it?
I'm at 190. I was at 198 on New Year's Eve, and I want to get down to 175, and I'm down to 190 as of on the scale this morning.
So you lost 8 pounds in 1 week?
9 pounds. 9 pounds.
9 pounds in a week?
Yeah.
And by doing what?
Not drinking champagne.
That was it.
No. I'm actually on a thing called the micro diet, which is a series of prepackaged meals.
Oh, this won't work.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't.
It's not the liquid. It's not the liquid.
It doesn't make any difference. It's not going to work. Here's what you should do. Just stop.
I bet you it will work.
But for how long? See, maintenance. Ask Oprah. The key here, I'm telling you. All right. I have an experience because over the summer, I got a call from my doctor. I got 3 calls. First, he said, we'd like to see you lose about 10 pounds. My doctor called me at home. Later, he called back and he said, we'd like to see you lose about 20 pounds.
And what was the third call?
23 pounds. There'd been some trouble with his paperwork.
Just a billing excuse.
So I lost like 5 pounds, boom, immediately. And I thought, well, that's great. I feel much better. But then it sneaked right back on me. So I know firsthand that keeping it off is the key. Isn't this fascinating?
I want to know what his nightmare was, his caviar nightmare was.
I think he was just a little joke from Paul.
It was.
Yeah.
No,
all right, so you're going to lose some weight, and do you have new projects? You have the book and some video
We're
tapes?
launching a brand new television series called Home Videos of the Stars, which is just what America wants, of course.
Yeah.
But we think it is. And we have a cookbook coming out in August, and something that might be of interest to you, which we filmed for the show a few weeks ago. I went over to England, and we were 11 crazy people who raced in high-speed race cars from London to Venice, Italy, against the Orient Express.
Right. And we're in the middle of a recession. And what was the outcome of the big race?
Simon Le Bon won, beat the train. The train took 30 hours to travel the 1,000 miles, and Simon Le Bon made the journey in just under 24 hours.
Wow, and you participated in that as well?
Yes, my race car, which was a Lamborghini Countach, doing 8 miles to the gallon across Europe. Try and find gas at 3 in the morning in a deserted village in France. It's not easy. And we came in 5th.
Wow. But this is not a flat-out go as fast as you can kind of race.
Well, you know, at some points we did hit on the English motorway between London and Dover. Many of us were up to 185 miles an hour. And of course there was Inspector Plod in his police car who pulled all of these 11 lunatics in and tried to issue speeding tickets to us. But
185
he just
miles
gave
an hour?
up when he saw 11 race cars coming around the corner.
It's quite a life. You lead the life others only dream about.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. The book is Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. It's the world's best guide. What is it going to set somebody back?
$12.95.
Well, so you have to be wealthy to buy the damn book, for heaven's sake. Robin, Happy New Year. Thank you very much for being here. Robin